Looking for some nighttime reading for your fat beer-swilling dyslexic ass? Click on the links in the description to purchase Reconnaissance Man and other books by Aaron Clarey. You'll sleep like a baby.
Hello everybody, Terrence Pop, Darklist.com. And Bad Pop came forward because he's got something to say to you feminists out there. Sex robots are here, and they're here to stay. I know you don't like it. In fact, you bitches don't like anything. Women, in general, do not like the idea of a man spending his own money on himself. And why is that, you say? They're entitled bitches, that's why. Instead of admitting that up front, which would be honest, they're making the whole thing about sexism and rape. That's a big shocker, and I have a question for you. How much shit do you expect men to keep swallowing? I'm just gonna come out and say it, and you can say whatever you want. Swallowing is your job, so let us begin. Yeah. Today we have an article from my favorite target practice, The Guardian. Between Valente, Proudman, and this bitch, do you actually have a real journalist that works there?
People are blowing a fuse about sex robots, or rather, rape robots.
Alright, I got a little question for you. How in the fuck do you rape a robot which is actually built for sex? I'm gonna be honest with you, why don't you lube up your asshole, because this is gonna hurt. If you actually think robot rape is a thing, take your vibrators and throw them all away. Because if not, you're a robot rapist. In fact, you probably have 6 of them in your dishwasher. And I bet Jenny Kleeman, who wrote this goddamn article, who's a cunt, has at least 12. And she probably uses them all at the same time, if you know what I mean. She's practicing being the hub in the dick salad, just saying. Oh man, they're pathetic because they fuck machines, right?
Journalists from the New Statesman and the New York Times, among others, have all reported on the sex robot Roxy, True Companion's controversial frigid Farah setting, a mode in which she has been programmed to resist sexual advances and which will allow men to act out rape fantasies.
Heaven forbid that somebody actually gets a healthy outlet for unhealthy urges. Because let me ask you this, would you rather have him fuck the robot or your daughter?
Women's rights activists
Aren't they called feminists?
have lined up to condemn Roxy. Everyday Sexism Laura Bates describes her as the sex robot that's yours to rape for just $9,995.
First of all, that's a lot of money. And if you actually pay for that, you're an idiot. But you're still not as dumb as Laura Bates.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Writing in the Times on Thursday, the barrister Kate Parker called for sex robots like Roxy to be criminalized.
Okay, as long as they drop legislation against vibrators. Because we're all about equality, aren't we?
The sophistication of the technology behind Roxy marks a step forward for robotics. For human society, it's an unquestionable regression, she says.
Oh, but the sex robots made for women with their bionic dongs, they're okay, right? No, I'm serious. Look it up. They're fucking hypocrites.
There's a problem with this story. The robot doesn't exist. Douglas Hines, the man behind Roxy True Companion, has been drumming up publicity for his creation ever since he unveiled her to the public at the 2010 AVN Adult Entertainment Expo in Las Vegas.
So what you're saying is this whole thing is a scam like the Dale. You remember that car that was supposed to get 70 miles to the gallon and they never even built a fucking one of them? That person wasted a lot of people's time and money. Got it. But I have to ask, and this is actually a point of logic here, why are you throwing so much of a hissy fit over something that doesn't even exist?
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Probably because it scares the shit out of you and it takes away your vag power. This power breaks men down, brings them to their knees, and while they're down there, you ram a straw into their back and you drink their ever-loving soul. Heaven forbid something comes along that gives men a healthy alternative to that goddamn existence.
Even though his website pulsates with throbbing Order Her Now buttons, no journalist has seen or photographed Roxy since 2010, and no one in the surprisingly extensive robot enthusiast community has ever reported owning one.
Why are you writing this article? Why are you wasting your time and mine? This is stupid.
I tried to meet Hines in person many times over the past year while researching a documentary and article on sex robots, and although he was happy to talk over the phone, he avoided meeting me when I asked to see Roxy in the flesh.
Because that's what a rational man would want. He'd want angry feminists to know where he fucking lives and works. So, he might be a con artist. But on the other hand, he might just be smart.
I was way off.
But while Roxy might not be available to buy, models like her will be very soon.
That's why you're pissed. your pussy power really is in danger.
Abyss Creations are due to ship the first talking animatronic AI-enabled heads for their hyper-realistic silicone sex dolls by the end of the year.
They just selling the heads? That's real weird. What, are you going to carry around a bowling bag or something? That's creepy. What are you going to do, take it to work and put it under your desk?
Yeah, Terrence, I need to talk to you about those TPS reports that...
What?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm just going to be honest with you. You show up someplace with a robot head and a bowling bag, you're not just getting one creepy point, you're getting them all. Check out the episode. But I do have to say, Abyss Creations, winning. This shit is hilarious. We know what Abyss you're talking about. The golden Bermuda Triangle under 8 Mile between your legs where dignity goes to die.
I have a larger than average vagina.
And while the sex robots on offer from China and Japan may currently have more in common with push-button talking baby dolls than Ava from Ex Machina, there's commercial pressure to get sophisticated models with AI on sale as soon as possible.
So what? And you're not going to be able to stop it with a bunch of bitch brain articles like this. And you want to know why? Simple economics. Supply and demand. As long as men are the target demographic, it's on like Donkey Kong and you're gonna fucking lose.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
You're gonna see a lot of dudes take the red pill and probably go MGTOW after this doll comes out. I'm just saying. And you wanna know why? It's a lot easier to save up 10 grand when you don't have to waste it on some ungrateful hooer.
Yeah!
The sex industry is worth $30 billion a year, and with 2/3 of heterosexual men in a recent survey saying they could imagine buying a sex robot for themselves, the race is on to make the fantasy a reality. But before sex robots hit the market, we have the space to ask whether they should.
I can see your tricks here, bitch. You're trying to bring this down to a moral argument, but you can't. Economics doesn't give a shit about morality, and it never has. Sorry. If there's a $30 billion demand for this kind of shit, all of your whining, moaning, and complaining is gonna fall on deaf, rich ears.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lord. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. Lord.
The issue with sex robots in general, not just hypothetical ones programmed to have a resist function, is how their existence will affect how human beings interact with each other.
Alright, I'll make you a deal. I'll get rid of the sex robot when you dump your smartphone, you stupid bitch. You want to talk about a piece of technology that fucks up human interaction? That is it. Oh, look at that. You just posted a tweet from Starbucks on your iPhone while you're drinking uniform cum out of a fucking styrofoam cup. But hey, you gotta kill 15 minutes while your vibrator's from the dishwasher, right?
Sex robots are different from sex dolls and sex toys because they have AI.
Oh, there you go. Trying to take the moral high ground. Fuck you.
My vibrator isn't as bad as your sex robot.
Yes, it is. Fuck off.
It's the same goddamn thing. It's a robotic device built for pleasure. And real AI doesn't exist yet. Because if it did, didn't you watch Terminator? We'd all be bombed to smithereens by now. Because we fucking deserve it. Space Ghost. This is a typical feminist response.
It's okay when I do it, but it's not good for you to do it.
How do you explain this hypocrisy? You got feminists jacking off the robot's cock while he's on the assembly line, but no, this is bad. We can't have that.
If men, and it will be men, even the few male sex dolls produced by Abyss Creations every year are generally shipped to male customers.
Fuck you, because right out of the gate you're trying to demonize men. Women are gonna buy this shit too, and you fucking know it. Shut up.
Become used to having sex with synthetic companions that are programmed to meet their most precise specifications, how will they then interact with real women who have the inconvenience of having their own idiosyncrasies and free will?
The way I see this, there are 3 options. 1, they won't interact with women. They'll become MGTOW red pill because it makes logical sense. And number 2, they're smart enough to save all that money for a robot. They know the difference between a woman and a robot. Just saying. Number 3, and I know this is a long shot, you might have to flip your script and become a decent person and a woman that men want to talk to. And that means you can't be an entitled, selfish hero.
Shut the fuck up!
And that automatically cuts the tail off the feminists, so just pack it in now. You might as well go buy your crazy cat lady starter kit and a sex robot. Screen 5. Listen, I understand that this reality that's coming is pissing you all off, but I don't care. Women and feminists have been holding men to a completely different standard, and that era is coming to an end. And if you don't like it, catch yourself a ride with a wambulance, go home, cry me a fucking river, build a bridge, and get the fuck over it.
In a society where the deck is increasingly stacked against men, the best chance at a life worth living is to escape the cubicle war, ditch that soul-sucking job, and never look back. Pick up corporate land on Amazon.com today and begin training for a better future.
If you are used to having sex with ultra-lifelike humanoids whenever and however you want, will you be more likely to expect complete dominance in your relationships with other humans?
That is what's known as a hypothetical question, and I have one for you. When are women gonna stop doing that? Period. Boom, beer me. In the Western world, women have a three-pronged pitchfork rammed up the ass of every dude. 1. Yes means yes laws. Even without those laws, any accusation a woman makes is considered Bible truth. As a dude, you're guilty until proven innocent, and then you're still guilty because the accusation sticks for the rest of your goddamn life. So much for due process, and with that, I'm having me some beer. And number 2, no-fault divorce. This one's my favorite. At any given time, a woman can say, I'm not happy, cut and run, and she will take your resources for the rest of your goddamn life. And this is because men are still held to an 18th century standard where they're required to take care and protect their women for life. But women, they get whatever century laws they want. In fact, when they want to be taken care of, they hit you for the 18th century laws. And when they want to leave, hell, they use the 21st century laws. Enough of this goddamn time travel. Great Scott, I'm gonna get me some Space Ghost.
Wow, that's good. Moltar, make a note of that. No.
And number 3, friend of the court, which is no friend of yours. My 35 years in the military, we all referred to that as friend of the cunt, because that's the way it is. Let's face it, you walk into divorce court, you automatically lose. You lose all your shit and watch your kids grow up and fast forward without you being in their lives. Everyone takes a piece of your ass and you get fucked. They claim it's the best interest of the child. And the only interests that they give a shit about are those of the system and then the woman. And both of them stick a straw in your back and drink your motherfucking soul. And that is what we call complete dominance of your relationships over other humans.
Pop, don't let it go. What? X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you.
After that, I dropped this mic, but it's really kind of expensive. And violence and technology do not mix.
Young people who have grown up in the age of online porn might consider shaved pubic hair and double penetration to be completely normal.
First of all, the shaving, well, yeah, nobody likes the jungle down there. But the DP? Fuck no. You want to see my reaction when I see DP? Wait. Oh. Your scrotum is touching his scrotum. Oh, dick's touching. Ah. I'm just going to say, for you to do that shit, you got to be at least 1/3 fucking gay.
I love you, man. Okay, you're kissing me.
Similarly, the generation growing up when sex robots are commonplace might see brutally selfish sex as both desirable and achievable.
Because it is. And you don't have to buy a sex robot to fucking do it.
Sex robots exist purely to satisfy their owners.
Kinda like a vibrator, Space Ghost.
Is any sexual relationship healthy if it's only ever about one person's pleasure?
I don't know. Why don't you ask your wife?
Can sex with a robot ever be consensual?
Consent for a doll. You have completely negated everything in this whole goddamn article with one question. It is a thing. It doesn't have a mind. It has a chip in its head. That's it. It's basically a video game that has a pussy. It's Space Invaders with a vagina. Consent is not even a goddamn factor here. What the hell's wrong with you? Do you pull those yes means yes laws on your vibrator when you're ramming up your slot B? Probably not. Next thing you know, we're going to see an article in The Guardian called How My Vibrator Raped Me. Wah.
This isn't about robot rights.
Then why are you asking if robots can consent?
It's about the kind of sex that will become normal within human societies if we start having sex with robots.
Let's just call a spade here. You're worried about men pouring their resources into a robot instead of you and your vagina.
Child sex dolls have been banned in the UK because of fears they will encourage the desire to abuse among pedophiles rather than simply sate it.
Let me get this straight. You took away a healthy outlet for an unhealthy desire because of feelings? That is really stupid, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's coming from the same idiotic mindset that says, teach men not to rape. We already teach men not to rape, just like we teach people not to murder and steal. I'm going to tell you a little story, and you might find this interesting. I remember way back in the day in the 80s when the first video games came out. And even in those, you could kill, murder, and steal. Just so you know, killing and murdering aren't the same thing. Because you can kill people in the line of duty or in self-defense, and that's not cold-blooded murder. And since that time, we have seen a steady decline in all crime. I'm not saying one is responsible for the other, but it is an interesting hypothesis. You know who's not going to find that interesting? The parents of a kid who was raped by a pedophile because he couldn't get his fucking doll.
Parker is calling for a similar ban on all sex robots.
Parker is an idiot, but his brothers, they make good board games.
But while we might not be able to stop them being imported or manufactured here, we can't stop them from being developed overseas.
Nope, you can't. Sooner or later, if you make it illegal, they're going to sneak them in anyway. Which, in my opinion, is kind of creepy, but I'm just telling you how it is.
Perhaps the most important question to ask is why there is a market for sex robots in the first place.
That's a real good question, and I got a great answer for you. It's simple. Just one word. Perhaps you heard of it. Feminism. Moving on. Listen, when you browbeat these men and tell them their masculinity is toxic, they're going to pull out and bust it on your face. Why would a man want to be around a woman who thinks that way and blames men for all of her problems?
I just got that old-fashioned romantic feeling where I'd do anything to bone her. That's a special feeling, Lloyd.
Why do some people find the idea of a partner without autonomy so attractive?
I don't know, woman, but you're a pretty good expert at running your goddamn mouth, and perhaps that answers your question.
Until we have an answer to that,
already did that. Screen 5.
We'll need to prepare ourselves for the inevitable rise of the sex robots.
I guess they'll take over the world and kill us all. All while covered in stinky clam chowder. I'm sure you know what that is. All right, enough of the article. Now it's time for my personal opinion, and I'm sure you'll find this funny. I'm never going to get one, and you want to know why? $10,000 is a lot of money, and I love guns. Yeah, also, I'm kind of partial to my freedom, and I don't want to drag something that looks like a dead body around my house because I have a SWAT team kicking down my door. Even though I'm never going to buy one of these things, I know hypocrisy when I fucking see it. And what I'm seeing here is sex toys for women, A-OK. For men, demon and bad.
That is some sadistic bullshit.
At the end of the day, let's boil it back down to the root it came from. It's all just glorified masturbation, and who fucking cares? You know what else I care about? Not getting raked through the coals in divorce court. I also care about herpetogonosyphilis. I don't want nothing to do with that. But the feminists, they want to remove all of the healthy alternatives out there, but only for men. You put a gun to my head and ask me to choose between a disease-ridden single mother and a sex robot. Easy choice right there. And you would think it would be easy for the feminists to make a consistent argument. I have a feeling that I would die of old age before they'll make a consistent argument. We're talking about a group who tries to argue logic with feelings. So instead, check out the links below, Patreon and PayPal, send us a couple bucks so we keep doing this. Because I love this show, and I love to keep my bar stocked, and if I run out, I'm going to be sad. So let me know what you want me to drink. If it's not disgusting, I'll drink it. And I'd hate to lose more subscribers, so please hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified. When? Because if you don't, let's face it, I'll just fuck the robot anyway. Yeah, they're pissed off because, you know, dudes are going to drop $10,000 to buy one of these. That's $10,000 that a woman's not going to get. Not only that, but, you know, he's going to spend more time with that thing because he's not going to go out looking for pussy. So it's even fewer people to marry that you know, they can fucking latch onto like a big fucking leech. And basically they walk up on you, they stick a fucking straw in your spine, and they drink your fucking soul.